You won't believe what just went down behind the scenes of Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Arionne Curry, yes, the same woman who's been calling herself the real storyline all along, has just been banned from the show by none other than Carlos King. That's right, after years of whispers, drama, and explosive social media rants, the door has officially slammed shut. But the real shocker, Arionne's reaction. It wasn't quiet, it wasn't graceful, it was a meltdown, so raw and so public that it left the entire internet gasping. She didn't hold back a single word. Anger, accusations, and heartbreak poured out for the world to see. But now, fans are asking the question everyone's afraid to answer. Was this Carlos King protecting the show's reputation? Or did he just light the fuse on a brand new storm that's about to explode in ways no one saw coming? Stay tuned, because what's happening behind the scenes is juicier than anything you've seen on camera. We've uncovered every shocking detail from the behind-the-scenes drama that led to Arionne's sudden ban from the show, to her explosive meltdown that lit up social media in a storm of accusations, tears, and fiery rants. And that's not all. Insiders are spilling the tea on the real reasons producers finally said, enough is enough. This isn't just another reality TV spat, it's a full-blown war between ego, emotion, and executive power. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why fans are calling this the most frenetic off-screen feud of the year, one that could change the future of Love and Marriage, Huntsville forever. Let's rewind for a moment, because to truly understand this explosive fallout, we need to look at the storm that's been brewing for years. Arionne Curry has never been a background character in the Love and Marriage, Huntsville universe. She's been the lightning bolt, the controversy, and the chaos circling the show from day one. Her name became synonymous with drama, ever since her connection to Martell Holt turned the cast's storylines upside down. She wasn't just a whispered rumor or a passing scandal. She became the woman at the center of it all. Every headline, every whisper, every side-eye from fans always seemed to lead back to her. And Arionne didn't hide. No, she doubled down. She went live on Instagram, threw shade with confidence, and spoke her truth without hesitation, even when the world labeled her the villain. Some fans called her bold, others called her reckless. But one thing was certain, no one ignored her. She became a polarizing figure, the woman viewers loved to hate, or secretly rooted for, hoping she'd finally step into the spotlight she so desperately claimed was hers. But that spotlight came at a cost. Her unfiltered rants, her shots at cast members, and her refusal to stay behind the scenes started to push the limits. Every cryptic message, every fiery post added fuel to the fire, until producers, cast members, and even fans began to wonder if her drama had gone too far. And now, after years of tension and chaos, that bold attitude, the same one that made her impossible to ignore, might have finally backfired. According to multiple insiders close to production, the tension had been building for months, and finally, the producers reached their breaking point. Behind the scenes, whispers turned into warnings, and warnings turned into frustration. Every time the show tried to move forward, Arionne Curry seemed to pull it back into chaos with her Instagram rants, late-night lives, and cryptic posts aimed at the cast, especially Melody Shereé and Martell Holt. Producers reportedly watched as Arionne's social media turned into a soap opera of its own, a constant stream of accusations, shade, and emotional explosions that blurred the line between truth and spectacle. Fans were tuning into her page more than the show itself, and the chaos was starting to overshadow the storylines on screen. That's when Carlos King, the mastermind behind Love and Marriage, Huntsville, stepped in and made the final call. Enough was enough. The risk wasn't worth the ratings. In a move no one saw coming, Carlos decided to shut the door completely. Not a guest spot, not a quick cameo, not even a hint of screen time. The message was loud and clear. Arionne is out. It wasn't a soft, maybe later. It wasn't a quiet, let's wait and see. This was a hard ban, a full stop, the kind of industry decision that draws a line in bold ink. According to insiders, Carlos believed bringing her on-screen could turn the show from structured drama into total chaos. The relationships were already fragile, the brand already under fire, and one more unpredictable voice could tip the balance. So in one swift move, Arionne's long-awaited chance at fame, the spotlight she thought was finally hers, was gone. Just like that, the cameras wouldn't roll, the doors were locked, and her name was officially off the call sheet. When the news finally reached her, Arionne Curry completely lost control. What was supposed to be a private disappointment turned into a public explosion, one that played out in real time for thousands of followers to witness. Within hours, she hit the go live button on Instagram, and what followed was nothing short of a meltdown for the ages. Tears streamed down her face as rage and heartbreak collided. Her voice shook, her tone shifted from fury to desperation, and the accusations came pouring out. She claimed Melody Shereé was secretly pulling strings behind the scenes, sabotaging her chances and convincing producers to shut her out. She accused Carlos King of being afraid of her truth, saying he knew that once she stepped in front of the cameras, the real story would finally come out. And she insisted that Love and Marriage, Huntsville wasn't ready for the kind of raw, unfiltered honesty she was bringing, that the show simply couldn't handle her power. But what Arionne saw as a moment of truth, fans saw as a complete unraveling. Instead of rallying to her defense, viewers flooded the comments with disbelief. Clips of the live spread across social media within minutes. Twitter threads lit up, TikTok edits went viral, and meme pages had a field day. The more she spoke, the worse it got. Each word, each tear, each outburst only seemed to confirm what producers feared, that Arionne wasn't bringing clarity, she was bringing chaos. What she hoped would be her redemption turned into a digital disaster, painting a picture not of a silenced woman, but of someone spiraling under the weight of rejection and lost control. According to multiple insiders close to production, the decision didn't happen overnight, it was months in the making. As tensions behind the scenes kept escalating, for a long time, the producers of Love and Marriage, Huntsville tried to manage the storm that Arionne Curry carried with her. They knew she was controversial, they knew she brought drama, but they also knew that drama sells. Still, there's a thin line between entertaining and explosive, and Arionne crossed it more than once. What finally pushed them over the edge? It was a perfect storm of Instagram rants, late-night lives, and public shade directed at cast members, particularly Melody Shereé and Martell Holt. Every time the show tried to move forward with new storylines, Arionne would jump online, dragging old wounds back into the spotlight, airing private grievances, and throwing accusations that producers say they could no longer control. Her online behavior became unpredictable, and her words, often filled with frustration, sarcasm, and fiery emotion, started to overshadow the show itself. Fans were talking more about Arionne's live sessions than the actual episodes, and for Carlos King, a producer known for building high-stakes drama but keeping it TV, that was the red flag. So, after repeated internal discussions and growing concern that her presence would destabilize the cast, Carlos King finally made the hard call. Arionne Curry was officially banned. No screen time, no guest appearance, not even a walk-on moment. The door was shut completely. This wasn't a soft, maybe next season. It was a full stop, a clear message that her brand of chaos was too risky for a franchise already juggling fragile relationships and heavy. Insiders say Carlos wasn't just thinking about ratings, he was thinking about protecting the show's reputation. To him, Arionne wasn't just a wild card, she was a grenade with the pin already pulled, and rather than risk an explosion on camera, he chose to remove the threat entirely. The result? Arionne's long-awaited moment in the spotlight vanished overnight, and the rejection didn't just sting. It set the stage for a meltdown the world wouldn't forget. When the news of her ban from the show broke, Arionne Curry didn't take it quietly. She erupted. What should have been a private heartbreak turned into a public spectacle, broadcast live for thousands to witness. Within hours of hearing the decision, she jumped onto Instagram Live, and what followed was nothing short of a digital breakdown. Tears, anger, and accusations pouring out in real time. Her voice trembled with emotion as she went from rage to heartbreak and back again. She lashed out at Melody Shereé, claiming she had been pulling strings behind the scenes, manipulating the producers, and convincing Carlos King to shut her out. According to Arionne, this wasn't about drama, it was about fear. She insisted that Carlos King was afraid of her truth, afraid of what she might reveal if given a platform, and terrified that the real story, the one she says has been hidden, would finally come to light. Arionne accused the show of playing favorites, calling it fake, scripted, and scared of real women who speak up. She declared herself the real storyline, saying she deserved to be on camera because she lived the truth others only pretended to. But as her emotions spilled out, the tears, the shouting, the moments where she seemed to lose control, the sympathy she expected never came. Instead, the internet watched in shock. Clips of her meltdown flooded social media. TikTok edits, Twitter threads, and YouTube reaction videos dissected every second. Some viewers said they felt bad for her pain, but many others saw it as proof of why the producers made the decision. Instead of appearing silenced and wronged, Arionne came across as unhinged, unraveling under the pressure of rejection. Every accusation, every emotional outburst, Every tear only made the situation worse. What she intended as a plea for understanding became a viral moment of chaos, one that confirmed, in the eyes of many, that she wasn't ready for the spotlight she'd been chasing for years. By the time the live ended, her name was trending, memes were circulating, and fans were divided, some calling it a cry for justice, others calling it a breakdown long overdue. But one thing was certain, Arionne's meltdown had turned her ban into a national conversation, and there was no taking it back. The moment Arionne's meltdown hit the internet, social media exploded into chaos. Within minutes, her live stream was clipped, reposted, and shared across every platform: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, each version sparking new debates, memes, and hot takes. It was as if the entire gossip world had been handed front row seats to the most dramatic off-screen breakdown of the year. On Twitter X, hashtags like hashtag Arionne Curry, hashtag LAMH drama, and hashtag Carlos King was right started trending as fans rushed to weigh in. One side argued that Carlos King made the right call, saying Arionne's energy had crossed from entertaining to toxic. They claimed her outbursts were proof she couldn't handle the pressure of reality TV, and that her presence would have destroyed the show's balance. "She's too unpredictable," one tweet read. "You can't build a storyline around chaos." But another group came to her defense, insisting Arionne was being silenced. They said the network was afraid of her truth, that her story was part of the Love and Marriage, Huntsville Foundation, and she deserved the chance to tell it in her own words. These supporters framed the ban as unfair, calling her meltdown a cry for justice, not attention. Meanwhile, meme pages had a field day. Clips of Arionne crying mid-sentence were remixed with dramatic soundtracks, auto-tuned edits, and side-by-side comparisons to famous reality TV breakdowns. Some videos mocked her, others painted her as the unfiltered queen of the show that never was. On TikTok, fan creators reenacted her rants word for word, while reaction channels posted hour-long breakdowns of every accusation she made. It didn't take long before the meltdown became one of the most talked-about moments of the week. Blogs, entertainment pages, and gossip YouTubers jumped on the story, dissecting every detail from her body language to the shade she threw at Melody and Carlos. Whether people loved her or loathed her, one thing was undeniable: Arionne Curry had the internet in a chokehold. Her name was everywhere, her voice impossible to ignore. And the division among fans made one thing clear: this wasn't just a moment. It was a movement of controversy that turned a ban into a viral phenomenon. While Arionne's meltdown set social media ablaze, Carlos King, the mastermind behind Love and Marriage, Huntsville, chose silence over spectacle. There was no fiery response, no cryptic tweet, no public statement. In a world where everyone rushes to defend themselves, Carlos's quiet confidence spoke louder than any rebuttal. He didn't need to clap back because the decision was already made, and in his eyes, it was the right one. Behind the scenes, insiders reveal that this wasn't a move made out of spite or personal bias, it was a calculated business decision. Carlos, a veteran in the world of reality television, has built his reputation on balancing chaos with control. He knows that drama drives ratings, but too much of it can destroy a franchise from the inside out. And when it came to Arionne Curry, the scales had tipped too far. Insiders close to production say Carlos viewed Arionne as a ticking time bomb, unpredictable, emotional, and unwilling to follow direction. She wasn't just drama for the cameras, she was drama that couldn't be contained. Every outburst, every unfiltered rant on social media, every accusation hurled online threatened to spill into the show's carefully crafted narrative. The risk wasn't just messy, it was dangerous. Producers worried that bringing her into the cast would shift attention away from the show's core themes: growth, family, and redemption, and turn it into a circus of feuds and For Carlos, the integrity of the brand came first. He knew that one wrong move could alienate the loyal audience he'd worked years to build. So rather than chase short-term shock value, Carlos made the power move. He banned Arionne completely. No guest spot, no cameo, not even a chance to test the waters. He drew a clear line in the sand. This show had boundaries, and crossing them came with consequences, and by staying silent, Carlos let the story tell itself. While Arionne raged online, his quiet composure painted him as the strategist, the protector, the man in control of the storm. Fans began praising him for putting the show above the drama, calling him the boss who saved LAMH from burning out. In the ruthless world of reality TV, where every scandal risks becoming the show's downfall, Carlos King proved once again why he's considered one of the sharpest minds in the game. Because sometimes, The most powerful move is the one made without a single word. For Arionne Curry, this moment wasn't just a business decision, it was a heartbreak played out for the world to see. For years, she had been waiting in the wings, convinced that her turn in the spotlight was inevitable, that one day, her side of the story would finally be told on camera, giving her the chance to transform from the villain to the voice of truth. In her mind, this was her redemption arc, her moment, her rise, but instead of a grand entrance, she was met with a locked door. The opportunity she believed she'd earned vanished overnight, leaving her staring at the harsh reality of a world that seemed determined to shut her out. This wasn't just rejection, it was humiliation in real time. A painful reminder that public opinion can crown you one day and crucify you the next. Arionne believed she had the story, the passion, and the fire that could carry a whole season. But in the eyes of producers, her unpredictability wasn't power, it was liability. And now, as her meltdown echoes across the internet, fans are divided. Some say this is karma, the universe balancing the scales after years of controversy, shade, and online chaos. Others see something deeper, a woman silenced, punished for being too real, too raw, too unfiltered for a world that claims to crave authenticity but only when it's polished and safe. So what is this really? A lesson in humility, or an act of censorship? Was Arionne denied her moment because she crossed too many lines? Or because she was finally ready to tell a truth that others didn't want the world to hear? Either way, one thing is clear. This isn't just the story of a woman banned from a show. It's the story of a dream shattered in front of millions. Do you think Carlos King made the right call by banning Arionne from Love and Marriage? Huntsville? Was this a smart move to protect the peace and the brand? Or was it a power play that silenced someone who just wanted to share her side? And what about Arionne's meltdown? Did it make you feel for her? Seeing her pain and frustration laid bare? Or did it only prove the producer's point, showing exactly why she might not have been ready for the cameras? Drop your thoughts below. Do you believe this was justice or jealousy, karma or censorship? Let's see where you stand, because this debate is just as dramatic as the show itself. If you think this drama is just getting started, make sure you hit that like button to show you're watching every twist unfold. Don't hold back, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us whose side you're on, what you think really happened behind the scenes, and whether Arionne's meltdown changed your mind. We're reading everything, and trust me, your voice matters in this conversation. And if you love the inside scoop, the off-camera tea, and all the shocking behind-the-scenes drama from Love and Marriage, Huntsville, make sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell, because this storm is far from over, and the next wave might be even wilder. Because just when you think Arionne Curry is finished, when the tears have dried and the rants have faded, new whispers are surfacing that she's not backing down. Rumors say she's holding on to receipts, messages, and behind-the-scenes secrets that could flip the whole narrative upside down. She's hinting at a comeback, not on the show, but on her own terms, and if what she's teasing is true, it could expose everything the cameras never showed. So don't go anywhere, because this isn't the end of the story, it's just the calm before the next storm. Stay tuned, because the real drama, it may be just beginning.